Nope, no questions right now. Hey YouTube, it is 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. I'm working to apply to a lot of mortgage lenders right now, or still ever since the Thursday night. I've got actual loan numbers, like the breakdown of like what the costs and the terms and everything are from a couple of them. I was on the phone with another bank yesterday, or like 2 banks yesterday. So right now it's just getting the pre-approvals and getting what the terms and the loan costs are for all of them so that I can fill it all out onto this spreadsheet that I have so I can compare the rates and the terms and the costs for all the different lenders. I'm a horrible vlogger. I picked up my phone 10 minutes ago to vlog something, and I saw that there was a message. So I replied to the message, and then I just went out to my laptop to like look up something random. So that was like 5-10 minutes ago. Anyways, I'm gonna get a good amount of exercise in because I didn't exercise at all yesterday. And I wanna order more Korean food for this weekend, which is carby, but I'm gonna show you guys this. This is the pre-workout that I usually take. I usually take it before certain days when I go to the gym. Usually if it's in the morning time when I go, this particular one has caffeine and stimulants in it, so I don't take it in the afternoon or at night usually. Good. So I usually drink the pre-workout 20 to 30 minutes before I actually start exercising, because it takes about that long for all the artificial chemicals to kick in. Back in my bathroom for dance lessons today because we're trying to learn a new part of a song, and it looks very simple. It's like this shoulder shrug, but I'm not like a 19-year-old girl, so I don't have that kind of flexibility. So this is very challenging for me. I was just actually reading an article about someone giving advice about what it's like to graduate into a recession, because I think technically we are in a recession now. I technically graduated into a recession. So I graduated in 2009. And when I graduated, no, even before I graduated, it was like the final year. And I was thinking, what am I gonna do when I graduate? I just had no idea. A lot of my friends were applying to grad school. They were just looking at the job market, and it wasn't very good in 2008. So I actually looked into that as well. The thinking went, well, if I can't get a job, I guess I'll just keep on going to school and like get another degree. I didn't end up doing that. I think I was just wandering aimlessly. So I finished my bachelor's degree. I graduated. The part-time job I had on campus while I was still doing my degree, I basically did a summer contract position for them that got extended till the end of the year. And then I was, for the first time in a long time, unemployed. So I was kind of sort of enjoying it. So I was still living at home, so I didn't have a ton of expenses. Luckily, it was the Winter Olympics in Vancouver at that time, so I was just kind of enjoying that. 2 or 3 months after being unemployed, even though I was living at home being really frugal, I got bored, so I started looking for jobs. The only thing I really know how to do was tech support IT stuff. So I started looking for entry positions of that type in the Vancouver area. I found a couple, but they were wanting to pay less than $40,000 Canadian, which I know was a really low ball number. I got the idea to randomly apply to some of like the big name companies. I've technically interviewed for Microsoft when I was still doing my degree, but Microsoft came to our campus to do some like campus recruiting for software engineers, which I failed horribly, obviously. But I just randomly looked up jobs from like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, Apple, whatever, and I just fired resumes. And I just thought, oh, well, I'm bored, I have nothing to do. This would be a fun exercise. Long story short, that landed me my Google gig. So that summer is when I moved down to the States. Update on the toilet paper. The toilet paper that was supplied with the apartment when I moved in, the roll seems to be emptying or shrinking a lot faster than my previous roll. I actually might need to find some toilet paper. I've not tried to order any toilet paper in a long time. I don't even know if these things are still in stock or not. And I've been asking you guys, encouraging you guys to leave me comments. So I want to go through very quickly some comments. If you're ever looking for a sweet treat, add a little maple syrup to your Greek yogurt. I'm not a huge fan of maple syrup, but when I first moved from Canada down to the US, I had my coworkers, whenever we went to a restaurant, if they had maple syrup on the table when we sat down, they would always be like, oh look, Joey, there's maple syrup. And I'm like, okay. It was just weird. They did that a few times. Like, they weren't joking. They were just like, oh, it's maple syrup. You're Canadian. And like, I don't get it. Sounds great. Hope you pick a safe place. I would never live in LA. I'd rather be in Victorville Desert teaching rattlesnakes how to eat Cheerios. LA isn't for everyone, for sure. It's kind of like a love-hate type of a thing. I would never judge anyone for not wanting to be anywhere near LA. Can I help you clean your toaster oven? No, you may not. How dare you? How exciting are you set on a condo? Not sure about real estate in the US and Australia. A piece of land tends to be a better investment. Yes, there are places in LA where you can have like what's called a single detached, which is just like a regular house, not an apartment, not a condo, not a townhouse. And it sits on like an actual piece of land that you will also own. The thing is, for example, if I'm gonna be in West Hollywood, the market is, as far as I can tell, my research and talking to people always want to live in West Hollywood. It's one of those areas where even if it's a downturn in the economy or in the real estate market, people are always trying to rent or buy things there. And in that area, there are some houses, but they're quite expensive. They're in the millions. And this is just my first place. So maybe in like 10 years or something, equity in this first place I buy will get built up, then I can trade it in for a bigger place. One of you also gave me very specific areas in West Hollywood to look in as well. And I'm looking not just in West Hollywood, but also some areas around West Hollywood as well. Gibby has several programs for first-time home buyers and shopping around for mortgages. So yes, I'm shopping around to tons of different mortgage lenders. All that is in progress. I don't qualify for almost any of the first-time home buyer programs because they all usually have limitations. Will you go again on Atlantis? Yes, definitely. Probably the very next Atlantis cruise that set sail after all this, I'll probably be on that one. Who's your favorite Twice member? I think Chewy is probably my favorite Twice member. How do you tie your bandana like that? Maybe a different option to people. Fold it in half so it's like an upside down triangle. The bottom part, I fold up in half again so that you don't have a lot of extra cloth dangling over your neck. And then I just take the two ends and tie it around my neck in a knot. Have you heard of Blackpink? Yes, I do like quite a few of their songs. Learning how to dance to songs took me ages. I'm working on Wannabe by ITZY right now, and that is gonna take probably until the end of lockdown, honestly. I watched episode 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race last night. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched up until episode 5, turn this off. I never like it when queens bitch about their character or the role they're playing in an acting challenge. From my point of view, it just seems like they think certain roles were created in the script to fuck that actor over, whoever plays those characters. But I don't think that's really the case. We've seen before queens that have taken one of those roles where it would be like hard to stand out or whatever and did like an awesome job. Widow is bitching about it. Aiden is bitching a little bit about it. Not every role is gonna be exactly equal, but I don't think there's any use in bitching about it, honestly. And honestly, not everyone's an actor, so some of the acting was kind of rough, unfortunately. When Nikki Doll set herself to go home Even if you thought you did the worst though, you need to be able to at least fight for yourself and be like, hey, I want this. I'm gonna work as hard as I can. I need to stay here. You need to have that kind of drive. If your inner dialogue is, I'm the one that should go home tonight, you're not gonna do well. Fortunately, she's also the one that went home, maybe that's why. Jada's acting was rough. It was really rough, like behind the scenes, as we were seeing them film it. And even in the final product, you can tell she was just trying to like say the lines. It wasn't really acting, it was just saying the lines. It was so stiff. Her runway saved her, for sure. Purely on the acting alone, I think I would have put her in the bottom 2. The way I would have judged it is that main challenge is the main challenge, and I would give that the vast majority of the weight. And then the runway would be like what would help me decide if I was like in between 2 girls that was equally good in the main challenge. But the main challenge is the main challenge. I don't know if Nikki Doll should be down there. Maybe the acting was kind of but I think it is a shame that Nikki didn't show more of herself. She's had opportunities to be wacky and show her personality, and she got that critique a few times now. And it's one of those things where like, you get the critique, you need to listen to it and do it right away, because at any moment you can go home. Please keep on leaving the comments. I love reading them. Thank you so much for leaving the comments for me. Otherwise, I think we will end it here, because I'm about to do lots of boring stuff in terms of looking at houses and researching mortgages. Super, super fun, by the way. All right, until tomorrow. Bye, YouTube.